Hello and welcome to my review of Home Truths, the first story in the Sara Kingdom trilogy. So over the next course of 3 videos I'll be looking at this trilogy containing Home Truths, the Drowned World and the Guardian of the Solar System. So without further ado, let's look how this audio is presented, then we'll go into my thoughts on this eerie and spooky tale. So let's go and have a look at that, shall we? So for the cover art we have classic Doctor's brand new adventures. We have Stephen there, Sarah and the Doctor, and we have this creepy house there, some lightning, some sort of clouds and some cosmos. I think this is quite an eerie cover and it does sort of reflect the story. Then we have Robert down there, then we have Doctor Who, Jean Marsh performs Home Truths by Sara Kingdom, then we have William Hartnell's icon there, then we have Audio Adventures there, Companion Chronicles, then we have the Hartnell icon there, Home Truths, then 3.5. Then on the back we have the blurb there and the 2 cast members there. Total runtime is 1. The booklet, if we open it up, we have production notes and we have a picture of the 2 cast members there, writer's notes, and advertisement there and credits. And then we have some character bios on the 3 main characters there. And for the disc we have this nice green sort of 3rd Doctor title sequence. Right, so what are my thoughts on this story? Now, I have to say Home Truths is a really nice eerie tale. Now from the cover you'd think that it is creepy, and I would say yes, it is creepy, but I would say the story is more psychological with this house playing tricks, which is just great. What really adds to the story is the sound design with this sort of eerie breath what is played. This that, I just think that is great, and that was a bit of a jump scare to me because when I was listening to this, about 11:30 at night. I was just about to go to sleep, and if you're going to listen to this, listen to it at night to get the full sort of scare factor. As I was saying, the sound design is fantastic with rain lashing down on the towels, lightning and thunder rumbles. It's just great, and I think the sound design really adds to this eerie atmosphere what Simon Gurrier has laid throughout this script, and it's just fantastic. Now this just shows how good of a writer Simon Gurrier is, and I have to say he's becoming one of my favourite Big Finish writers because he's brought back Sara Kingdom back. If you don't know what happened at the end of the Daleks master plan, I'm not going to spoil it, but he's brought her back in a very unique way. I'm not going to say how, but he's really brought her back in a unique way, and I must congratulate him for that. And it's certainly an unexpected way of bringing her back, and it's a really great twist. Now, as I was saying, Simon Gurrier, he knows how to write for the 3 leads. He's got Hartnell down to a T. The imagery he creates, you can easily imagine Hartnell clutching his lapels, wandering around this spooky house. And I like that him and Sarah have a bit of a conflict, and obviously Sarah is sort of right in a way, but because the Doctor's he is always right, the First Doctor doesn't like to be wrong, so he's really captured the First Doctor brilliantly in this. Stephen, he's not in the story much, but that's not a bad thing. I think it's quite interesting to get a bit of dynamic between the Doctor and Sarah. But the way Stephen is brought out of it is clever. It is a really clever way of how Stephen was picked out of the story, which is just great. Now there's this character called Robert who is in a separate sort of story. I'm not going to go into that because the way this story is told is Sarah is retelling this tale, and of course you have the actual story going on, and it breaks off back to Sarah, old Sarah, and Robert, but I'm not going to say any more about old Sarah. And he's brilliantly played, and he's just quite an interesting character, him being a rationalist, being told about a ghost story. But for now, that's all I'm going to say. He was well performed because I think as the trilogy goes on, he's going to be becoming more of an interesting character, especially in the Drowned World. Overall, I have to say Home Truths is a creepy and atmospheric story, with it utilising traditional horror elements such as isolation, with it being set in this abandoned house and you can't get out, and when it floods, it's sort of like the Woman in Black Eel Marsh house, that sort of thing going on really. A ghost, and it is brought to life by this brilliant soundtrack, an eerie soundtrack, and a spine-chilling sound design. The story full of twists, what certainly keeps you on your seat, brilliantly brought to life by Jean Marsh, who just slips back into a role of Sarah with ease. This story is definitely perfect for this time of year. Overall, fantastic story. But if you are going to listen to this trilogy, I would definitely recommend knowing about the Daleks' master plan, listening to it, watching it, on a recon, just because you get more understanding, because this story does sort of spoil how the Dalek master plan ends. So if you haven't, experienced the Daleks master plan, then don't check this out just yet, because it may just spoil it for you, and I don't really want it, because Dalek master plan doesn't really need to be spoiled. I think that episode 12, you do not want that to be spoiled, because it's such a fantastic episode. So definitely check out the Daleks master plan before you dive into this, and plus it's a nice little refresher, because I listened to the Daleks master plan, then I went on to Home Truths, and it just made me enjoy this a hell of a lot more. So this has been my review of Home Truths. Obviously I will review the next story in the trilogy, which is The Drowned World. So thank you very much for watching this review, and I'll see you in my next review, which will be The Drowned World.